So I guess I get started. So the first question is, do you work on campus? If so, where do you work, or how many hours a week do you work? And if you don't, do you have any experiences with workers?
Yes, I work in around this library.
Hmm.
I work maybe like 10-ish hours a week.
And what are your experiences, or just how do you feel about working here in general, in Cornell specifically?
I think I got lucky because I have a relatively cushy job. I know
Hmm.
not many people get that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty good with mine. The person I work for is good to me. I know that that's kind of like a unique
Hmm.
experience for me.
And my second question is, do you think the student contribution is manageable, or does it lead to other problems balancing like work, life, and just academics in general?
Student contribution. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not prepared to answer this question because I like just refuse to think about it. As for this, so I haven't thought about if I'm making enough. I've just been like putting it on my mind, stress for it. I'm also lucky in this sense because I got a pretty good financial aid package.
Hmm.
My parents are helping because they had like their own contribution part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a student contribution has me kind of like not spending much at all. Like I think the only thing I'm ever spending is beer fees. Like I'm like I know my friends have gone out and stuff. Like I haven't done any of that yet.
Especially if you like lower SES, it's like way more pressure, and it's just on top of, even if you, some people just don't get lucky with financial aid, it just
Yeah,
differs every
exactly.
year. And the student contribution does increase every year. And so, according to like the Cornell Daily Sun, it would take you 2 semesters to just pay the contribution if you're working like 10 hours a week.
It's crazy.
And that's like insane just to think
That
about,
is insane.
like any words about like working in general here, or just like what do you feel like should improve, or just other opinions about that?
I think definitely pay is a big part of it
Mhm.
because obviously inflation is kind of like
Yeah.
devaluing like all of it. I was about to work at Cornell Dining. The reason why I didn't is because I read the Cornell Daily Sun piece on it. It was
Yeah.
like the students struggle. There's like turnover because they're not trained properly, so they get fired. Like I didn't want to deal with that stress. The job I'm working is actually, I intentionally took like a pay cut because like I got the job at Cornell Dining. I never worked a day because I was like, never mind, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So like, I'm making like $1 or so less, but
Mhm.
because I don't want to deal with that stress.
Do you work on campus? If you don't, I don't know. Do you work on campus? No. If you don't, then do you have any friends or anyone do you know that works?
Yeah, one of my friends has a job.
Have you heard anything about that, or what do you think about just working in general on campus?
I feel like they don't pay enough. Friend, I feel like she works more than what they pay her. But the job is like she works in a cafe making like orders, so it's not even something that's kind of like stressful
Yeah.
or taking away some of her time. But I do believe that people should be getting paid more.
Do you know about the student contribution for like financial aid, like the student contribution every year? And so my question is like, do you think that is manageable, or does it lead to like other problems with like managing school and life?
I feel like depending on the person, depending how much they need to like contribute, I feel like it all depends on the person. Because if you have a lot of things to like do from like your academics and then work, and on top of that you have to pay the school back, I feel like that might be a lot for somebody like to manage. But as far as for me, I'm here on scholarship, so I don't have to contribute with anything to the school. So like it would be manageable for me to like work and stuff. But I feel like for other people it might not be.
Do you think the student contribution is manageable, or does it lead to other issues like managing school and life?
Okay, I feel like the student contribution leads to other issues. Like personally, me, I'm still struggling to manage my time. I don't even know what I'm doing in this library right now. I just feel like it's kind of a lot, and a lot of students are still trying to figure out like the path that they want to take, the classes that they want to do, and a lot of them, like a lot of the friends that I have, they're struggling. And for you to tell me that I need to contribute as a student, I think that's a little bit absurd.
How does that work into jobs? Like, do you feel like ostracized in like community or anything here within working, or like just community in general?
I feel like as far as the jobs, they very like the applications are just too long and they ask for so many like things for no reason.
Yeah.
I feel like to get a job on campus, you don't need to have that much experience, and they don't need to be asking all the information that they do. Because I feel like it's just on campus. First of all, you don't even pay enough. So why you want me to have experience, like so much experience? And also, it's like we're in college, we're here to learn. Like we need to gain experience here. So it's like if you're not allowing me to work because I don't have experience, then how am I gonna become better?
Do you work on campus? If so, where do you work and how many hours a week do you work? And if you know experiences from other people who do work, let me know.
So we don't work like on campus. We do research, but I have a friend who works at the dining halls, and she works like a couple hours during the week. Yeah.
Do you think like the student contribution is manageable, like, or does it lead to any other ethical issues?
No, it's not. I don't think so. Every year, people like complain about the wages because it is lower than like, jobs, like internships, especially like in the city. Like they're like the state minimum wage, which is 15, but like here it's still like 12 and stuff, and it's not. It doesn't reflect, especially when like the rent prices are expensive. People like their financial aid doesn't allow them to access funds to get their books and stuff. So I don't think so.
Do you have anything to say?
I agree with that, and then there's just the cost of inflation. Like nothing's accounting for that.
Yeah.
Like everything's more expensive, with the wages aren't changing.
Do you have any like final opinions?
The school tries to give excuses on it because people are, yeah, you should, like at Cornell, learn how to work and balance school and all that, but it's not sustainable because people are stressed all the time, especially when they work in reality like 2 jobs. It's not conducive to being like a good student here.
Do you have any final opinions?
I agree with that. Like I have 2 research jobs, so I have 2 research jobs, a thesis, and classes. So like trying to maintain all of this is a lot.
Do any of you work on campus? And if so, how many hours a week do you work? Or like, what is your experiences with working? And if you don't, you can just tell me your friends' experiences or just what you think about it. You want to go first?
We don't work on campus. We do not work on campus. We literally don't know anything, actually. Besides, I feel like the only job I'm even aware about, I feel like, are working at dining halls. I don't even know what else you can do here. My roommate works now at
Deuce.
I don't know anything about her experience, though.
I don't know what do you guys just think about working here?
I don't know, because I want to. I need to do something. The job that I had at home, I was able to do like virtual calls. So that's what I did last year to make money. I need to figure out how to do something here. I just feel like I'm always overwhelmed and don't even know where else to start to look. I feel like in terms of working here.
And how do you think, would it be harder to like work here? Like, how do you think you'd manage that?
I feel like I just would not have enough time.
Yeah.
I'm nervous that I wouldn't. That's like my biggest thing, is keeping me from doing it, because I know that I need to and I know that I want to. I just the work here is ridiculous.
One of my friend's roommates works at a dining hall here, and she said she'll come in at like 2 a.m.
That's just like not
every
reasonable.
night. Yeah.
Yeah. So my first question was, do you work on campus? And if so, where do you work? Or have you heard experiences of workers at Cornell?
Yes, I work on campus. I work at the Rare and Manuscripts collection in the Kroc Library. That's what it's called. And yeah, I'm just the front desk receptionist person.
Your experiences with that?
Yeah, well, I really like working there because my mom actually worked there when she was at Cornell, so it's a cool experience to get to, sit where she's at 30 years ago. And it's also cool because some of the same librarians are there. I also really enjoy the Rare and Manuscripts collection because Cornell has so many cool rare archives that are hidden like underneath the art squad, and they're all taken care of, and if there's such like an art to taking care of those books and manuscripts, so it's really cool to get to learn about that. I don't really have any gripes with working, but I know that the food workers on campus, there's a lot of issues with that, and I'm part of the People's Organizing Collective, so there's a big move to try to kind of organize them and maybe unionize them, hopefully. So that would be really, really cool because those people need to be taken care of. I think a lot of the food workers and people who make Cornell run, like they all have families that they need to take care of. It's not driven by students. I don't think that's not like the base population. So that's what I know about working at Cornell. And people don't treat you well. It's a very thankless job.
Do you think the student contribution is manageable, and how does like it come into ethical issues?
See, I don't know. I hear of a lot of issues. I'm not on a federal work study or anything, so I'm really grateful that this is just going into my savings, and this is for later. I use it now, obviously, for like fun things to do on the weekend, but I'm really grateful that I'm not paying my rent right now with this money, and so I don't have that pressure, but I know for the kids that have to work and have all this schoolwork, everybody's stressed out here, the culture. So that on top of having to, provide for yourself, put food on the table for yourself, and pay your rent and everything, I can only imagine that's really stressful. And if you're only paying like $13 an hour for that, you're barely getting by up here. So that can be really tough.
Do you have any final words or anything?
I really want there to be some sort of massive organizing because Cornell needs to. We have like the only industrial and labor relations school in the country. Let's put them to the test and see if they can like uphold it and stick with their morals, because it'll be a big test. But if you're teaching us all about, I don't know, if there's a lot of like anti-capitalism in a lot of my classes, so if we're gonna do that, then let's also like treat people as human beings and
take action.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.